Shirley here with Sirius Talisman. This is Jupiter hour, and actually, Monday is Jupiter night. Yes, no, Monday, no, Venus night. Sorry, Jupiter hour, Venus night, and we had a very interesting election here for Moon Jupiter and even Procyon. I did not capture Procyon, which is not too late. I'm gonna add something Procyonic to the mix. And it's going to be an inscription. And we're going to go with Procyon. To be Procyon. The rooster. What a poor, lame rooster inscription. But this is a lovely, lovely energy. And even refill of Procyonic. Yeah. Refill of my Procyon materia. Okay. I'll just keep it like that. It's good. At this time, so I have a Procyon soap and I refilled my Procyonic spray, which now let's see if there's anything missing. Procyon. I think I'll add to it. I'll add nutmeg to my Procyon materia. Some Jupiter. Okay, now this is absolutely counts as a Jupiter moon applying to Jupiter, and yes, the midheaven is close to Saturn, but I began it when it just separated from Rahu. Now, this is why I said it's an interesting election. Normally, we would opt out of moon being in the first house, but because the moon is decreasing and there is a protective quality both to Selene, Jupiter, Procyon, then this is okay. The midheaven was in between Rahu, and then I tried not to get it too close to Saturn. And I made me some oils. We finished all the honey, about 3 boxes, small boxes of honey, and they were all gone in the holidays. So, so no honey to consecrate, but definitely a soapy soap. So now I have Procyon, Jupiter Moon Procyon soap. This actually originally came from Jordan, I believe, and it's yes, it's basically something that is a recipe from Jordan. I just inscribed that and some oils, a few candles, and the main tones. The main tones that I used, thank you, were of course jasmine, which is a strong and powerful moon herb. And when I ran out of jasmine, I kept it with my rose and ylang ylang. So ylang ylang, one of the things I love to do with ylang ylang is add a drop of mint, because mint is both prosperity and abundance and awareness, and Jupiter is abundance and Moon is growing abundance, but this is shielding abundance, shielding benevolence, shielding the light, um, shielding being favored by the light. Um, and this is exactly the type of energy. Now for Procyon, um, I have a Tagetes oil. I just reconsecrated it. But Tagetes I don't put for anything topical because it's highly photosensitive. Um, Another thing, yeah. So we had several elections today. The first and this one, the last one, I really loved. Um, I really love the combination of ylang ylang and menta, mint. Um, some cocoa for the heart, but definitely the Jupiter tones are nutmeg and clove. I really like the nutmeg property. Um, it has a scent that goes very well with the rest of the oils. Okay, um, and more stuff I used. Basically, the Helichrysum vetiver, and Helichrysum is a fantastic oil, um, very powerful. And this is an oil we use um, to balance, curate, removing old scars. So they can be on a soul level and on a visceral level. Nutmeg property is so Jupiterian. This is. I love the clove, but I think the nutmeg is the Jupiter oil. And so, and of course the rose that has been so highly used. Now, this is an election where I really did not have too much time, and I had to kind of work my way through a midheaven Rahu, which is very fated, but can cause, all types of Rahu-like, okay, activities, which is over increasing, over emphasizing, um, Rahu can play on the what is real and what is not. Um, but then, if I would wait too much, I would be too close with the midheaven to Saturn, and Saturn um, is not something I want too much on the midheaven. Anyway, that midheaven was between Rahu and Saturn, so that was kind of like the challenging point, and yet Moon, Jupiter in Cancer, ascendant in Cancer, Jupiter, Moon day going into Venus night, Jupiter hour, which is the most important, um, Jupiter hour, and that is highly unlikely to get kind of anytime soon with a direct Jupiter. Powerful, powerful, beautiful, um, very precise selection. Um, so much good memories. Okay, and ylang ylang mint is really the combination to, and together with nutmeg, to take something that perhaps when it occurred was not at all easy, and to turn it into good memories and transmute the energy around that. So, really, really powerful. The ylang ylang is just so amazing. And of course, some orange, which builds up to the time when I was in Netherlands for me. Um, and again, for those of you that had this election or about to have this election in different houses or from different location, um, I'd love to hear about your talismanic work. Now remember that I do have an amethyst and emerald sitting somewhere in one of my elections. And one of the things I love doing is getting the crystal into the butter or the oil that I make. I did that with the moonstone earlier today, moonstone bracelet, and some silver coins. Silver is the metal of the moon. And I also did that with emerald and I believe an amethyst. So basically, it kind of stays in the butter and the oil, and by the time I finish using that, I will still have a talismanic memory. Um, More things to say about this election. Jupiter tends to bring the benevolent energy, but this one is special consecration for night charts because Jupiter in the sign of the moon brings in its benevolence to a planet that can anchor it for those who are born in night charts. Now, considerations, yes, the moon is squaring Sun and is squaring Chiron and Aries, but is trining Saturn, Neptune, and Black Moon Lilith. this to me reminds me exactly of when I was in Netherlands, and it's getting the good memories minus the hardships, which is just what I needed. I actually, to be honest, I did not have time to process what I went through, and this scent is something that I used when I was there, and now it's just bringing up all the good memories. Because at the time it was very difficult, and later also very difficult. Um, but this is so fantastic to create with this scent. Jupiter was in Pisces then, which was my first house, and that remediated a very challenging transit for me. But it was not anchored by the moon, and now the anchoring by the moon is even more benevolent. And the moon is in Punarvasu, lunar nakshatra of my own moon, and not creating karmic ties with my moon because it's the same constellation. And that to me is just good memories and um, of something that was very, very challenging to process, to go through, um, but now anchored by the energy, the shielding energy of the moon, where I can be completely thankful for the good things, shielding from the things that are not. Um, and I just love this scent. It reminds me so much of all the memories, all the good memories. Actually, I do have memories of scent from Netherlands. Also, when I was a child, the first time I traveled, and that was when I remember the scent that I was using back then. And as I returned, this scent stayed with me for years and years and years. And now, this mint, orange, ylang ylang oils. I'm just missing frankincense to be exact. Um, because back then I asked for essential oils. I was basically in between houses, and we got some food at the shelter in the beginning. Later, I just stole from the Albergheim because it was not safe to do anything else. Um, and there we were, the Ano, then Transformatorweg. There was a lady there that helped me, and she was so trying to keep it positive and um, getting mad at me that I don't have the documents and so. And so I remember even the restaurant where she said, when you get everything fine, I want you to invite me to this restaurant in Amsterdam. And she got me essential oils. She asked, what do I need? And she got me the ones that she had. Um, and that helped me reconnect with myself and what I love doing, which is those aromatherapy stuff and building blends and building basically perfumes that have also spiritual medicinal property, but there the joy of the scents was there, and that basically helped me connect in times that were very, very challenging. Even the vetiver, there was a lady there at the shelter. She had a dog and she had vetiver oil. We met in the bathroom because it was so cold at INO and we had to leave and so on. In the morning, come back in the evening, but I was hiding in the bathroom because it was so cold. And she found me there. And she had a vetiver oil. So she let me have a drop of that vetiver oil. Um, so I was doing a channeling experiment back then. Um, wow, lots of memories. So the oils were bringing back the good memories and eliminating all the, uh, you know, keeping the good memories. And of course, it makes me miss Netherlands a lot. Um, there were even people that thought I was a charlatan because when I asked me what I need, the lady said, bring a list of what you need. So I listened to her and I made a list of what I need. And because we had food and clothes in the shelter, I made a list of vitamins, minerals, essential oils. And people thought I'm just scamming them for that. I said, no, I have what I need. Of course, those that had the traffic in real estate, they were in charge of trying to make it look like, you know, um, but that was, and every day I was taking the train. Everybody was driving black. So I was taking the train, but then the lady gave me money for the train. At first I told her I don't need to, everybody's driving black. But she gave me money for the train, so I wouldn't have to ride black. And this way I could travel, even within the city, so that I'm not freezing in the cold. Um, it was COVID, and it was amazing. Yes, but the experience was terrible, but those things were amazing. So, and now Jupiter is in my fifth house. So, this is bringing back the good memories, um, but also being discerning and taking my power back. And it's the first time I think that I'm beginning to process through the scent um, what was there, but from a place of joy. And having survived against pretty much all the odds.